Kami ante.
Mama तो पटना
जाना बेटा
जी थोड़ा पढ़ रही है आज तुम तक खाने को
Srishti, am I audible to you? Yes. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Please call everyone. It's 9 o'clock.
Yes, ma'am. I've sent the message.
Is it visible to you?
Yes.
कौस्तुभ नको ना बात नाही प्लीज इकडे जायला पाहिजे
Yes, someone post on our official group to join immediately. Was their earlier lecture extended? Yes.
मैम ट्यूटोरियल था अलग बैचेस के थे.
Okay. It is yet to be finished.
हमारा हो गया मैम पूरा. पता नहीं. मैम उनका ट्यूटोरियल अभी भी चालू है.
Okay, but post it on the group. हाँ, वो जैसे भी हो जाए कि सिलेक्ट उनको बोले एंटर हो जाओ.
मैम मैंने ऑफिशियल पे.
ठीक है, थैंक यू बेटा. Will they join or no? Yes. After tutorial, will they join or no?
Yes, ma'am, they will join.
Yeah, tell them fast. Nayan, are you there?
Ma'am coming. Are you?
Yeah. Roll number 32, are you there? Roll number 32, are you there? L1 batch seems to be not there.
Ma'am, we are joining right now. Actually, lecture was ended. Ma'am, taken 5 minutes extra.
Which ma'am?
ट्यूटोरियल चल रहा था बिलवर मैम का, मैम ने 5 मिनट एक्स्ट्रा लिया ईएम के ट्यूट में. जस्ट एंड हुआ है और अब सभी लोग ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं.
Okay, चलेगा. Roll number 32 is present or no? 32?
मैम 32 is absent.
Yeah. Many a times she is absent. That is why I am calling her number.
Ma'am, she has a health issue. I will tell you after the class.
Okay. Roll number 18 is there? Roll number 18. Roll number 18. Not the attendance issue, but he is writing the different dates and different time for when he is filling the attendance. Then will you give the message to him? Roll number
Yes,
18.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
To write the date and the time also properly.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, she is there, Ingre. 32 is there, Vasundhara Ingre. I saw
Ma'am, she
her.
joined right now. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
She was
Because,
absent for some classes last, but from maybe today or from tomorrow she will resume all the classes.
okay, because she has not attended on 4th of March, 8th of March, 11th of March, 15th of March, 18th and 24th March.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And you just inform 18 to write the date and the time properly. Okay, now majority are there. We will start. I had shown you the pHmetry video. In pHmetry, we have to find out what is the H plus ion concentration of the solution. For that, I told you that the glass electrode is used as the indicator electrode. So this is in this chapter you have to learn, that is pHmetry. After that, conductometry, then spectroscopy. In that you will study two types of spectroscopy: UV spectroscopy, that is ultraviolet, and infrared spectroscopy. Now for the determining the pH of the solution, we have to use the ion selective electrode, which is a indicator electrode called as glass electrode. In this is the construction of the glass electrode. Here there is a bulb or the membrane. In that we have 0.1 molar HCl solution is there in the bulb, and this is the electrode rod, metallic rod of AgHCl or platinum is there, which is sealed at the opening. Now when it is placed in any solution, outside the solution, if there are H plus ions, so due to difference in the concentration of H plus ion inside the bulb and outside the bulb, some potential is developed at the surface of this glass electrode, which is given by EMF of the glass electrode is equal to E0 G plus 0.0591 pH. This 0 indicates the STP condition. So this is the constant for every electrode which is available in the literature. The EMF of a cell under standard temperature and pressure condition. What are the standard temperature and pressure condition? What is the temperature for standard STP condition? Yes. STP condition.
273.50.
Okay, and what is the pressure? 1 atmospheric. Very pressure.
1 atmosphere.
And the glass of which it is the glass electrode is made up of, it should have low melting point and high electrical conductivity. So the glass composition, the composition of glass from which the glass electrode is made, it contains 22% Na2O, 6% CaO, and 72% SiO2. That is low melting point and high electrical conductivity. So only the purpose is that when there is a difference in the H plus ion outside the solution and inside the solution, Due to difference in the concentration of H plus ion, some pH is developed, and that potential is developed, which is converted into a pH, and according to this formula, the potential developed is converted to pH, and it is shown by the pH meter. Then this is the glass electrode. This is the glass membrane which I had shown you. The glass membrane is there. This is your glass membrane is there, or glass bulb is there. So glass membrane inside the cell, the potential is 0.1 normally cell. Some potential will be there. Outside the glass membrane, solution is there. Due to that, some potential will be there, Ex for the external solution. So the at the surface of the glass membrane, the potential will be EB is equal to Ex minus E1. EB is equal to Ex minus E1. These are the potential of solution outside and inside the cell. Now this is the typical glass electrode. As you can see, it is the portable and compact one is there. The cost is about 2000 minimum, depending on the manufacturing company. Up to it goes up to 3000 rupees per glass electrode. Now it is equilibrium is attained immediately. Equilibrium means H plus ion concentration inside the bulb and outside the solution. The equilibrium is attained very easily. It is can be used in the oxidizing and reducing medium in presence of. It is also used if your solution contains some biological impurities like algae, fungi, etc. It gives good results between the pH 2 to 10 that is there, and it detects the H plus ion concentration in presence of other ions like Na plus, Cl minus, etc. But this part of the electrode is called as the tip of the electrode, which is very fragile, easy to break. So if you will stir it a little bit at a faster rate, it breaks easily. The solution inside the glass electrode will come out, and then you have to throw it out. This electrode is of no use. That is the one limitation of this is, and this particular electrode cannot be used in presence of the uh, fluoride ions. These are the two limitation. Now inside the pH meter there is a potentiometer. So the reference electrode is your standard calomel electrode, which is to your right hand side, and left hand side is your glass electrode. Internally in the pH meter it is connected to the potentiometer. Now this SCE is the reference whose values are available in the literature, and this is you can calculate it from the EMF produced due to the H plus ion concentration difference between the inside the bulb and outside the bulb. So it is given by EMF of this is one half cell, this is another half cell, it forms the complete cell. It is EMF of the right hand side, that is SCE, and EMF of a cell of the left hand side. But left hand side we have seen that it is E0G plus 0.0591 pH, and the right hand side ESC, it is available in the literature. So if this minus sign is there, right minus left, so if you apply minus sign, this also become minus sign. And if you will rearrange, pH of the cell can be calculated. pH is calculated, EMF of SC minus E0G. These values you will get from the literature. EMF of the cell will be given to you, divided by 0.0591. This is from the Nernst equation. Then you can calculate pH. Either by this equation you can calculate pH if these three values are known to you, and if these three values are known to you, pH, ESC and E0C, you can calculate the EMF of a cell that is there. Nowadays, so here nowadays combined glass electrode is used. Instead of using the SCE and glass electrode separately, we can use the combined glass electrode in the modern pH meter, in which glass electrode is the inner body and the reference electrode, that is SC, is the outer body. Here there is a bulb which is there. So here we have the combined glass electrode, which is a combination of glass electrode and a reference electrode. Inside the body it is a glass electrode and outside it is the calomel electrode, and the combination of these two is called as combined glass electrode. So it is a shortcut which is used for nowadays for modern pH meter. Now here this is a colorimeter. Here the electrode, combined glass electrode is there. Here the temperature knob is there. Here the colorimeter indicator is there. Inside that we have the here the combined glass electrode is there. Here temperature knob is there. Here on off switch is there. Here at the base of this scale display, here you get the display here, and here when you put it this side you get pH. When this knob is put this side you get the EMF of a cell. So for both the purpose pH meter is used. These two small screws are there. This is called as a symmetric knob and this is called as symmetric or slope knob. Now you have to standardize it with the three buffer solution 4, 7 and 9. So 4 and 7, 4 and 9 you can standardize it with this knob which is called as slope knob, and 7 you can standardize with this knob which is called as the asymmetric knob. Now so pH I have shown you in the video that how the standardization is done. The electrode is to be dipped in the, it is to be normally it is dipped in the distilled water when it is not in use. So when it is to be used it is dipped in the buffer having the pH 7, and then we have to with the help of screwdriver you have to adjust the position of the screw so that this display shows 7 pH. Then it is said that standardization is done by pH 7. Now for 4 and 9 you have to use this now. After the standardization is done with the help of 7, then you have to wash it with water, dip it in the buffer having pH 4, and then with the help of screwdriver adjust the pH 4 here. So the standardization is done. After that you have to wash it, and then same knob you have to adjust the position of the knob with the help of screwdriver so that it will read 9 pH. So this standardization is necessary because if the standardization is not done with the buffer having acidic, alkaline and neutral pH, then it is likely that the pH meter gives the garbage reading of its own which are not acceptable. So for getting the acceptable pH for accurate pH, the standardization every time is necessary. Now during the experiment if the electricity goes off you have to again carry out the standardization of pH meter because it get disturbed little bit. So that is the procedure of standardization of the pH meter which I have shown you in the video also during the experiment. So these are the three buffer solution 4, 7 and 9. This is the combined glass electrode here which is used. Inside this inner body is the glass electrode and outer body is the SCE, that is reference electrode. Reference electrode is the one whose pH is known to you, whose EMF is known to you. Glass electrode is there whose the EMF or the pH changes according to the H plus ion concentration, because across the membrane the two different H plus ion concentration are there. Due to this difference some potential is developed and that potential is converted into the pH. So this is done as I have explained, first with the 7 when it is kept on the asymmetric knob, and then with 4 and 9 when it is on the slope knob. So the standardization is done. Now this is the particular picture in detail. This is on off switch. At least before performing the experiment 15 minutes you have to keep the instrument on. That is called as warming up of the instrument. Here there is a knob. If you keep it this side, left hand side, it shows pH. If you keep it on the right hand side, it shows EMF. This is the temperature control knob. Usually for the room temperature, the experiment is carried out. So room temperature, the temperature knob is adjusted. This is the asymmetric knob for 7 pH, and this is the slope knob or symmetric knob for pH 4 and 9. So that is done with the help of this. After the standardization, then you have to carry out the reading. You have to carry out the reading here in the burette. You have to take NaOH in the particular flask beaker. It is not big beaker of 250 ml, but it is of 100 ml capacity. 20 ml HCl is taken, 30 ml distilled water is taken, because the tip of the electrode should dip in it, and NaOH is added 0.2 ml at a time, and every time the pH is noted. And after getting the pH of the solution, we have to plot a graph of. So the NaOH is added. NaOH is added from the burette. Then this is our uh, beaker of 100 ml capacity, in which we have taken the acid, but it should dip in that. So we have added the distilled water also here. And for every addition of the buffer solution, we will note it down. Now it is kept on the magnetic stirrer, in which the magnetic stirrer small needle is kept here, and this magnetic stirrer is operated electrically, so that needle will stir the solution. But in our video it was shown that we have stirred the solution with the help of combined glass electrode. So this is the our assembly. Now this you get it. I have explained L1 batch. Other batches also might have done this experiment. You have to plot two graphs, pH versus volume of NaOH added, and delta pH upon delta V versus volume of NaOH added. Sudden change after adding certain amount of NaOH from the burette, sudden change in the pH is observed, which is called as the end point of the titration. So here delta pH upon delta V versus volume of NaOH added. The peak of this gives the equivalence point of the titration. Now if you carry out the same titration by using burette pipette and indicator, that is phenolphthalein, at end point or at equivalence point, you will find that the color of the solution changes from colorless to faint pink. That is the end point or equivalence point. Here we are not using the indicator. So what are the advantages of using the instrument? Instrument standardization takes just 5 minutes, and after that every addition of 0.2 ml of NaOH from the burette, up to after the equivalence point you have to add 2 ml more. So 3.6 here is in our present experiment. We have seen 3.6 is your equivalence point. So after that you have added 0.2 ml up to 5.6 ml maximum. So this reading takes another 20 to 25 minutes after the standardization is done, and so it is a fast process. You can second is in the personal error are not there. If you will carry out by burette and pipette, then it is likely that some group will get 3.6 as expected, some group will get 4, some group will get 5, etc. So it is not reliable to carry out this particular titration by using burette pipette and the indicator. So we have used the instrument pH meter. Now, what are the drawback of the pH meter? It is not given in the literature. So the drawback of the instrument is that minimum 15 minutes warming up is necessary. So if you use any instrument, before use of any instrument, at least for 15 minutes you have to do the warming up. Otherwise, it will not give the correct reading. Second drawback is there when it is freshly manufactured and purchased. At least once in a 2 year, you have to do the servicing. But as the period goes off, once in a year, you have to do the servicing, and after that, maybe after 2 or 3 years, every 6 months, you have to do the servicing of the pH meter. You have to call the person, and for that, some charges are applicable. For even visit to the institute, the additional charges are there, and for servicing also additional charges are there. So it is the maintenance of the pH meter is a cost consuming process, because and after 3 or 4 years maybe you have to carry out the servicing three once in a 3 month. So the cost goes on increasing correspondingly. So the it gives the fast reading, accurate reading, reproducible reading, but the disadvantage is that the servicing is required frequently, because of which the maintenance cost is very high. So that is there. So we have plotted the graph. So we have studied here how to operate the pH metric, how to carry out the standardization, what is glass electrode, and what is pH metric titration of acid with base. So that is the first lecture is over. Now, have you understood everyone? Have you understood everyone? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now we will start the second lecture immediately. That is the conductometric titration. So if you will not understand anything in between, please stop me in between anytime, any number of time. I am ready to take the extra lecture to finish the syllabus, but understanding of the topic is very much essential. So here conductometry is the like a pH metry. It is again an instrument. Before it measures the electrical conductance through the current flowing through the conductor. Conductor here means the electrode and electrolyte. Here they have used the term conductor as a electrolyte, not as a electrode. But in general, conductor is a combination of both electrode and electrolyte. If you will take just the electrolyte, no current will flow. So unless and until the electrode is there. So the conductivity meter is the instrument which measures the current flowing through the conductor. Here for our convenience, we will take the meaning that conductor is nothing but the combination of electrode and the electrolyte solution. Now the conductivity. So here in this chapter we are going to study the conductometry, and next we are going to study subsequently UV visible IR and molecular structure determination. Already here we have these are the topic. So conductometry or conductivity meter is the meter which measures the current flow through the conductor, that is electrode and the electrolyte. It is used in the analytical chemistry, where it is a standard technique. Now three types of titration we can carry out by using the conductometer. By pH meter we have carried out only the acid base titration, but here we can carry out the acid base titration of different types. Also we can carry out here the conductometric titration for the uh, 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 precipitation titration. Other than acid base titration, we can use it for the precipitation titration. For example, KCl versus AgNO3, which gives the precipitate of AgCl. So that is also possible for this. Now, according to the principle of conductivity meter, the conductivity of the solution or the conductance of the solution, electrolyte and the electrode, depends on several factors, that is presence of the free ions, charges on the free ion, and the motion or the movement of the free ion, mobility of the free ion. So the conductance depends on the number of free ions present. More the number of free ions, more is the conductivity. More the number of charged ion, more is the conductivity. More is the mobility of the ion, more is the conductivity. So that are the three principles on which the conductivity of the conductor depends. Again and again, I am saying conductor is the electrolyte with the electrode, and that how much current flows through, that we can determine it with the help of conductivity meter, and it depends on three factors: the number of the free ions present, charges on the free ions, and the mobility of the free ions. Now it is observed that smaller ions have more mobility. For example, H plus ions, they are smaller because they have only one proton and one electron. So they are smaller ions as compared to sodium ions. So the less the size of the ion, smaller is the mobility of the ions. So that is you have to remember. And more the mobility, more is the conductivity. More the number of free ions, more is the conductivity, and more the number of ions, more will be the charges on them, and therefore more is the mobility of the ion. More is the conductivity of the solution. So on which three factor the conductivity depends? Chalo, speak out. On which three factor conductivity depends?
The moment of free ions, charges on the free ions, and mobility of free ions.
Number of free ion, then charges,
Yes,
and then
charges of the on the free ions and mobility of that
Mobility of
free
the
ions.
free ions.
yeah. Okay, so that is the that is there. So more the number of ion, more will be the conductivity. More of number of the ion, more will be the charges, corresponding charges, more will be the mobility, and then more will be the conductivity, and more the mobility, more is the conductivity. That is the principle here. Now this looks like this. This is a electrode here. It shows the conductivity. Here the knob is there. Here the two sides are there for the knob, and here on off switch is there. Again here you have to keep it on for at least 15 minutes for the warming up of the instrument. Any instrument, whether it is in physics or chemistry, 15 minutes warming up is necessary. So in addition to the acid-base titration, it is used for the precipitation titration. To find out the end point for the precipitation titration, I have given you the example KCl versus AgNO3, and also for the displacement reaction. So it is more applicable as compared to the pH meter. pH meter, it depends on the change in the concentration of H plus ion, but conductometry depends on the three factor: the number of mobile ions, the charges on the number of the free ions, charges on the free ions, and the mobility of the free ion. Most mobility depends on the size of the ion. Smaller size, they move at a faster rate than the bigger one, and that depends on, you can predict the size on the basis of electronic configuration of that atom. So hydrogen, it has one, so only one shell is there, so it is smaller. Sodium, we have the three shells, so it is bigger, so it moves slowly. So three types of titration: acid base titration, displacement titration, and the precipitation titration. You can use it. You can add the titrant from the burette, and you can measure the conductivity of the cell. This is particular called as conductivity cell. It is called as the conductivity cell. And then you have to plot a graph of conductance versus volume of titrant added. So here no standardization is required. It is there, the titrant is added. Conductivity meter, they are portable, also available in different sizes. Here this is the one older one when we have used 30 years back, when we were pursuing the post graduation. Nowadays this type of conductivity meter are not in use, but even then in our college this type of conductivity meter is used. Now these portable are there along with the electrode, it is there. So nowadays these are used on a large scale. The cost is higher, but they are more comfortable for the use. So this is the conductivity cell, which is nothing but the beaker. Here we have the conductivity meter. Here the titrant is added from the beaker, and then you get for every addition of the titrant, you get a change in the conductivity, and that is noted from this scale. Here the display is there. This is the electrode for that, and you get the reading. Now we will study the different types of the acid base titration. First combination is the strong acid versus strong base. So for example, you have taken HCl here and NOH you are adding from the burette, then it is HCl will ionize at H plus plus Cl minus, and NOH will ionize as Na plus plus OH minus. So I will repeat this reaction. This is a strong acid and this is a strong base. So they ionizes completely H plus plus Cl minus. Here Na plus plus OH minus. Then you will get Na plus plus Cl minus, that is NaCl salt, plus H2O. H2O remain unionized. Again I'll repeat, HCl, it is a strong acid, it ionizes completely as H plus plus Cl minus. NaOH also a strong base, it ionizes completely Na plus plus OH minus. It gives salt Na plus plus Cl minus, and H2O remain unionized. So that is the titration. Now we will describe the graph. In the notes the graph is described completely, but here I'll explain it because unnecessarily the length of the PPT increases and the student takes unnecessary tension. In the notes it is given nicely. See, initially you have a HCl only in the conductivity cell. So as I have said, H plus ions are small, so conductivity is very high. But as soon as you start adding NaOH, H plus get replaced by Na plus, and the conductivity of the cell decreases. Now at this point it is called as equivalence point, at which these two lines meet each other. So this is at this point only Na plus and Cl minus ions are there. They have minimum conductivity. These are the observed results which are there, which are shared in the theory. Now, after this equivalence point, if you continue to add NaOH, then the conductivity slowly increases due to presence of OH minus ion. This is the same explanation you have to give, because for the first experiment is carried out and then the explanation is given what may be the probable reason they have tried to give it. So here conductance versus volume of NaOH added. This is the particular nature of the graph. In the exam, maybe graph will be given to you and you will be asked whether it is a graph for which type of titration. So it is for strong HCl versus strong acid versus strong base, which ionizes, both of them ionizes completely because they are strong. You get NS plus and Cl minus, and H2O. Initially H plus ions are smaller in size, so their mobility is very high, so conductivity is very high. Slowly and steadily H plus get replaced by Na plus. Na plus are bigger in size, so they will decrease the conductivity, and at a certain point you will find that there are no H plus ion, there are only Na plus and Cl minus ion. So for Na plus and Cl minus, practically no conductivity is there, so it is reduced. After that, if you continue the addition of NaOH, then due to addition of OH minus ion, the conductivity will go on increasing. This point of intersection of two lines is called as the end point of the titration. This we can do again by the uh, here by using the burette pipette and indicator. But here, what are the advantages that we'll see later? So this is particular graph. Can anyone explain this graph? Chalo, I explained it twice. Can you explain anyone the observation from the graph for strong acid versus strong base? Yes, anyone? Anyone? Chalo, come on. No one is ready? No one is ready? Yeah, understood or not? Have you understood or not? Please pay attention. You will not understand from the notebook notes. Please pay attention. Have you understood or not? Shall I explain it again? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Shall I explain? Shall I explain it again? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now this is this is called as conductivity cell, in which we are carrying out titration. This is your conductivity meter. This is your burette, in which we have a NaOH. We have to carry out the titration of HCl versus NaOH. HCl we have taken in the conductivity cell. It is a beaker only, but it is called as conductivity cell. Now HCl is there in the beaker, NaOH is there in the burette. So as soon as you will start adding NaOH, why we have to try to give the explanation for this part of the graph. Initially small H plus conductivity is very high. This is the conductance which axis, and this is the volume of NaOH added. Initially when no NaOH is added, the only H plus ion are there in the burette, in the conductivity cell. Only H plus ion are there. Their size being smaller than Na plus, the conductivity is higher. But as soon as you will start in adding NaOH, the H plus get replaced by Na plus. H plus get replaced by Na plus. That is why you get NaCl. But NaCl are bigger in size, so they will slowly and steadily, as more and more Na plus getting replaced by H plus, H plus are getting replaced by Na plus, the conductivity decreases up to certain point. Now at this point you will not find any H plus left in the acid. So here only Na plus and Cl minus is there, for which the conductivity is very less. And after this point, if you will continue the titration, so all H plus get consumed here, and that is why conductivity decreases. At equivalence point, you do not have H plus ion, you have only Na plus and Na plus and Cl minus ion. They do not have, that is required conductivity, so it is minimum. And after this equivalence point, again if you will continue to add NaOH, due to presence of, earlier it was Na plus which was replacing H plus, so it is decreasing. But here OH minus are there, which are sufficiently smaller in size. They will replace, they will show their presence, due to which the conductivity of the solution increases. Due to OH minus, it increases. Due to H plus getting replaced by Na plus, it decreases. At equivalence point, no H plus is there, so it is minimum because of presence of Na plus and Cl minus. Is it clear now? Is it clear or
Yes,
no?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure. So who will
Yes, ma'am.
explain? Who will explain? We are not in a hurry to complete the syllabus. Chalo, who will explain? What is the observation of for this particular line? Chalo. Why it
इनिशियली
decreases?
H प्लस आयन का कॉन्सेंट्रेशन ज्यादा होता है, इसीलिए कंडक्टेंस हायर होता है. लेकिन जैसे ही NaOH ऐड करते तो Na प्लस आयन इज लार्जर इन साइज, ड्यू टू विच द कंडक्शन इज डिक्रीजेस.
Mobility is less due to bigger size, so the conductivity decreases due to mobility. At equivalence point, which ions are there?
Na plus ion.
Na plus and Cl minus. At equivalence point, only Na plus and Cl minus are there. And further, if you will add NaOH due to presence of OH minus, now here Na plus and Cl minus are there. Now here the OH minus ions are major ions, predominates. Concentration of OH minus ion is there. Because of their higher mobility, the conductivity increases. Shall I assume that you have understood? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Later on
Yes,
you study it. Later on you study it and try to give. Now next is weak acid and strong base. Now whenever any component is weak, either acid or base, the weak acid or weak base, they ionizes feebly. They do not produce ion, so number of ions are less, so conductivity is less. If acid is weak or base is weak, they do not undergo ionization, so number of free ions are less, so conductivity is less. So here we are taking the example of weak acid, that is acetic acid versus strong base NaOH. So here the weak acid ionizes feebly, so free ions are less, so initially conductivity is less because it ionizes very less, weak acid. But when you will start adding Na, the Na is a strong base which ionizes completely, and CH3 COO minus get replaced by Na, so the conductivity increases. At the beginning, weak acid is not ionizing at all, so the concentration is less here. So the conductivity doesn't ionize, so free ions are not there, so conductivity is minimum. But when NaOH ionizes completely, it replaces CH3COO minus, and therefore the conductivity increases with addition of NaOH. After that equivalence point, after that again it continued to add because of OH minus ion. It continued to add because of OH minus. Acid, it ionizes less, but when the base is added, it forms a salt. Salt is more conducting than the acid. So here the salt formation is there, so conductivity is increasing. Salt is dissociates more than the acid. Acid dissociate less, so less free ion, so less conductivity. But when Na is added, then you get the formation of salt. Salt dissociate more than the acid, so conductivity suddenly increases, and after equivalence point, the conductivity further increases because of more concentration of OH minus ion. Have I made you clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Any boy? Can you explain? Try to explain. I will correct you if you will go wrong. Nothing harm in it. Nothing wrong in it. Chalo, anyone?
and firstly, it is acetic acid which is weak and its conductivity is lower.
It does not
And
form
then
the free ion. It does not dissociate because weak acid does not dissociate. So free ion are not there. So conductivity is less. But when NaOH is added, the salt is formed. Salt dissociate at a faster rate than acid. ऍसिड डिसोसिएट होत नाही, त्यामुळे फ्री आयन नाही, त्यामुळे कंडक्टिव्हिटी लोएस्ट आहे. पण NaOH जेव्हा टाकतो त्यावेळेला सॉल्ट तयार होतो आणि तो डिसोसिएट होतो, त्याच्यामुळे कंडक्टिव्हिटी वाढते आणि नंतरची कंडक्टिव्हिटी हे ड्यू टू इन्क्रीज कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन ऑफ OH मायनस. कळलं का? ऍसिड अजिबात आयनाइज होत नाही वीक असल्यामुळे, त्यामुळे कंडक्टिव्हिटी लोएस्ट असते. When you will start adding NaOH, then salt is formed, salt dissociate at a faster rate than the acid, so conductivity slowly increases, and after equivalence point it further increases due to presence of OH minus ion. चलो कौन बोलेगा? Who will speak? चलो, the same boy, beta. Same one who was explaining earlier. Chalo,
yes,
fast.
ma'am.
Same you explain me now neatly.
Ma'am, the Na then the salt formed later, it is more conductive than
Why,
the
why
previous
initially
acetic acid
conductivity is less? Why initially conductivity is less?
because it's a weak acid and dissociates less.
it does not form the free ion, so conductivity is less. But due to formation of salt, conductivity increases, and after equivalence point, due to H minus, it further increases. Only 3 or 4 लाइनें आपको लिखना है. Got it, all girls, boys, friends?
Yes, ma'am.
सबको
ma'am.
समझ में
Yes,
आया?
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now we will see this one. Almost it is done. We may not. Okay, we'll try it. Otherwise, next lecture we'll finish it. I have to. Next lecture we'll finish it. I will share the attendance list. 32. Are you there? 32. 32. Are you there? Ingre, are you there? 32 initially was there, na? 32 was there, na? Yes, Nayan. 32 was there na earlier.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
She left in between.
Ma'am, actually, she's in the
Ma'am,
class.
she's there. Ma'am, she's there.
Yes, ma'am.
Then why she is not giving the attendance? She's not
Ma'am,
seeing.
might be network problem. She's not able to speak.
Okay. Only that 32 is having problem, and roll number 18 is there. 18. Are you there? 18, are you there? Then later on tell him, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
You put the date properly. Date and time.
Hello,
also.
ma'am.
Are you there, beta?
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, 18. Who's 18? Who is 18? Hello. 18. Who is 18? Your number is not seen here in the participant list. Hello, 18. Are you there? Am I audible to you? Okay, it seems it's not audible to him. Chalo, fill the attendance. Now L1 batch. At what time it is? 11:30, na? L1 batch.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so 3 videos are there. Please join in time. Please join in time.
Yes, ma'am.
Otherwise, and 1:30 I have sent the link for the test. Only for 15
Yes, ma'am.
minutes it is. You join in time so that after 15 minutes I don't want to listen ki we have not finished, because Patil ma'am has said only 10 minutes to be given. But after
Okay, ma'am.
joining it takes some time. That is why I have given you 5 minutes extra. Huh? Give the
Yes,
test.
ma'am.
Give the test immediately.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, attendance done.
Yes. What happened?
Ma'am, attendance is done. Can we leave?
Yeah. Sure.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Welcome. Have a good day.
Hi, ma'am.
Yes. Yes. Purposely, I have not taken other graphs. Otherwise, you will get confused. That is why next I will take next time. Are you everyone through? Shall I end up the meeting? Shall I end up the meeting? Yes, please answer. Are you through? Are you through? Mohammed, Shivraj, Sejal. Huh? Have you given the attendance? Are you through?
Yes, ma'am.
Shall I end up the meeting? Shivraj, Mohammed, शिवराज, Mehmad,